Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. So finally, we got this thing back together. I was still working on it Saturday morning before I put it on the trailer to go to the racetrack. I thought I was finished Friday night, but when I was laying in bed, I thought of about 5 things I also needed to do before I loaded it. So we did those things, got it loaded up, and went to the racetrack. And let me tell you, was it hot. Oh, brother, just hot, and stifling humidity. But thankfully, 30 years in the transmission section of Duncan's shop where I used to work prepared me for that. You talk about hot. That place was hotter than it is like being on the top of a stove. Anyway, let's get down to the important business here. All the hard work paid off. We parked it Saturday night. 50-lap feature. We started from the pole, led every single lap, lapped every car except 4 of them. It was a clinic put on by the old blue lump. I was so proud of her. I love this car so much. This car is it's almost like a being. It refuses to die. It has come back from certain death so many times. And it just doesn't come back and limp around at the back. It comes back just as fast as it ever was. This car is a legend. It's cool, eh? It even says right on there, August 21, 50-lap feature winner. And next week when I go back, I'll get my 2021 feature winner decal for my dash. I always like piling those up in there. It was quite a night. We didn't do so hot in qualifying. Practice was good. I should start there first. We took it out for first practice. We were scrubbing in 4 new tires. So I had to kind of take it easy for the first half just to get the tires cleaned up before I could really lean on it. And I really liked how it felt. The front end was a little bit skatey. So we brought it in. And we checked the tires, and the temperature was telling us that we needed a little more camber on the right front. So we knocked that over a little bit, reset the toe, took it out for the second practice, and it was fine, just how I like it. When I practice this car on those hot, sunny afternoons, it's an old slick racetrack, and I like it to be just a little bit loose in the afternoon practice, because then later, when it comes to race time, especially the feature, the sun's gone down and the track's cooled off and it tightens up and it comes right to me, right? You got to prepare for the race, not for practice. Anyway, we got to qualifying, and both times, just where I started, the traffic I had to work through, the same 2 guys took off and they were gone. So I finished, I think, 3rd in the first one and 4th in the second one, which would turn out to be a godsend, because what happened then, we ended up qualifying, I guess we were 6th or 7th qualifier. Well, then they roll the dice for the invert, and I don't know, whatever number they came up with, it was good because it put us on the pole. That was awesome. So all I had to do is basically I figured if I on the start could beat the guy on the outside to the first turn, we'd probably have a pretty good shot at having a really good night. And that's what I did, and lucky for me, I had the guy cleared by the time we got to the first turn. And then what you have to do, if there's someone on your tail, you kind of have to keep an eye on them until you hit the lapped cars. Once you hit the lapped cars, they stay on the bottom and we run on the outside, and it makes it a lot easier to keep the guy behind you if there's a lot of traffic, because there's just nowhere for him to go. So it took us, I don't know, 6 or 7 laps to catch up to some of the back markers. But by then I had a pretty good lead, and it was pretty awesome. This thing was on rails, man, and the little engine we built a few videos ago, it performed perfectly. It just, the temperature gauge just sat at 180. The oil pressure was 50, 55 the whole way through. Oil temperature never passed 200. It was fantastic. I couldn't have asked more from this car. It was great. So, yeah, it was great. We led the 50 lap feature from flag to flag. Never once did we have any pressure from behind. We lapped every car except 4 of them. It was fantastic. It was the greatest run of this car's life. And it wasn't me, it was the car. This car is just a fantastic piece. I can't even express in words how much I love this old car. Anyway, I'm going to hop now to a few, I'll just put a few clips in from I had a camera in the dash and I had one in the back window. We'll have a few clips of those. And then when we come back, I'm going to show you some of the work we got to do to this car because there is quite a few jobs I have to do that I just didn't have time. I had to prioritize after that wreck. There was stuff that I wanted to do to it before the 50 lapper, but I just couldn't. A lot of it was stuff that didn't really, not all that important, but still stuff that needs to be done. So once I come back from the race footage, we'll get to work on our job list. Well, that was pretty fun, eh? What an incredible night. What an incredible race. What an incredible car. Um, it was just fantastic. I'm still flabbergasted by the whole thing. And it was really, really touched by the so many people came over to congratulate us. Um, in person at the racetrack, and I had people calling me. I had people messaging me on Facebook, and all kinds of, like, piles and piles and piles of people on social media. It was awesome. I can't thank all of you enough. It just makes this moment even better. We've been trying to win like a 50 lapper at a kind of a bigger race for years and years and years and years and years. It was really cool. Anyway, in the next video, we're going to get to work and do a few things on this car that need doing. That, like I said, I just never got the time to address before the 50 lapper. But anyway, I guess we touched on the right stuff because it seemed to work. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on the Claremont Classic Garage. So long.